To install Alpine Linux, first you need to get the ISO. So I have searched for Alpine. I think it is not getting. Let me specify the Alpine Linux. Yes, this is the website of Alpine Linux. By the way, Alpine Linux is only used on Docker, but still there are lot of benefits if you are installing on any bare metal devices. So your bare metal device will run as smooth as possible. I have found this piece of Linux distribution is modern, resource efficient, security oriented. Especially, it do not carry all those legacy codes. That means those came with glibc. It use muscle libc, musl. So if you are interested, you might be getting your ISO from here, and it's better to check your downloaded ISO with SHA 256 or GPG, whatever you like. Another main point is whether you are using Raspberry Pi 0, even the first version, second version, third version, each and every version is supported. Even I have installed on my Orange Pi, Banana Pi, those are also working very fine. By the way, in India, Raspberry Pi is very expensive. So there are multiple other SBCs available, cheaper, and I think much better also. So for those purposes, you must get this version of ISO. You will not get ISO, you will get IMG file, and you will have to write it using HR or similar tools. And minimal root file system, it is better if you are just like virtualization. If you are intent to use just on virtualization, it is the best choice. If you are using on VirtualBox or any virtualized environment where the base is having Linux, then this is the version you should go. Netboot is only having the bare minimal option. Extended one, this one should be used if you are installing on like bare metal hardwares, or even with VirtualBox, you should install this extended version. And as I understand, x86 is a dead platform, AMD 64 is current one, so you should probably want to go this one. But you would like to prefer x86. Like I am having a laptop, it is like 12 or 14 years, more than 14 years old. I have tried installing on that device AMD X64. That means x86 underscore 64. This one, and used that laptop for some kind of file sharing purpose, and it works very fine. So I think if you are having like 15 years old device, you only then you should go for x86 one. So I have downloaded this one, and standard one, like if you install this one, it will be like a lot more work later on you install your operating system. So better to go with x86 64. That means the AMD 64 version. I have already downloaded this version. Let's start the installation process. The boot was very quick. I'll have to log in first. I remember only one user, that is root is enabled, and it is having no password. So if you enter root, it will straightforward log in, and the command would be setup underscore Alpine. I think setup dash Alpine. Yes, setup dash Alpine. It works. Then I'll have to set up the keyboard. Like if you are having some preference of DevRock or like special Indian keyboard, then you should like go for it. But for now, this installation purpose, I will use the default US one because it will be used on server purpose only. So let's type US. See, these installation steps are pretty much simple, straightforward, but not so much intuitive. I found rather installing a Debian, Ubuntu, those are pretty much intuitive enough to go forward. But this one, I think some extra intuition is needed. Like I'll have to see there is US DevRock 1 is present. I would not go those routes, so it's better to use US again. And it is asking for local host. That means what would be the name of this host? So local host, I think name it as Alpine. It has found ETH0. Let's proceed with that. It wants to continue with DHCP. That means it will communicate with the router to get an IP address for release. Proceed. Yes. Do I want a network configuration manually? No, I don't want it. Please do it yourself. It is asking for the broadcaster. That means the 255. Yes, it has found, and it has taken a IP from my router, that is 1.124. So password, like if I type a simple password, it would not take. It forces you to use a complicated password and a long one. Also, I have tried, it did not take. So let me put a long and complicated password. And this is regarding the time zone. I will not select like India because I will not use this piece of operating system as my like daily driver. It will only be used for server purpose. So it's better to have all my server. I like this way, like all my servers are on UTC, and I manage all those time zones by my own tools of softwares. Even some places I prefer time zone to be maintained on the browser itself, so that managing time becomes much more efficient. So it is asking for a proxy URL. I am not using any kind of proxy, so I would press enter. And now it is asking like whether you want to use BusyBox or Crony or even none. I don't know. If I proceed with none, how would I get some basic tools, LSCP? Those commands would not run. So it's better to use BusyBox. I have found BusyBox is much efficient and lightweight than the GNU tool core utils. Even like 10 years ago, I have installed BusyBox on a Android mobile, so it works perfectly fine. I think BusyBox is nowadays pretty much standard and self-mature. So I would like to continue with BusyBox. For this instance, APK mirror, it wants to find a fastest mirror. So the selected option would be the best way. It has updated the repository index within a moment. Wow. Set up a user. Yes, I want to set up my username, car, full name. So let me put my name, new password, SSH key or URL for car. See, if you are having a SSH key, or even if the public key is available on any URL, you can put over here. I don't need it. I will set up manually later on. Right now it is asking like, do you want to have a SSH server? Yes, of course. Else how do I communicate? I don't have a serial port connected with this device. So let's proceed with OpenSSH. Which disk would you like to use? None. No, I would like to use SDA. So I think it should put this default value over there rather specifying none. So it would take me one hit on the enter. So I would be happy. So I'll have to type SDA to select the virtual hard disk. Okay. So I would like to go with sys, or even you can go with LVM. I have found LVM little messy to configure with Alpine Linux, so I would not go with LVM. Let's proceed with system. Erase the above disk. Yes, please erase and proceed. Why? This time no is selected. I understand, because if you are having a hard drive, the installer wants to confirm that this piece of drive will be like erased what you want to do with. So this piece of default selection is good, I think. Right now, creating file system. The file system is having a virtualized disk on another system, so it is taking a long time. Yes, it is done. Installation is complete. Please reboot. Let's try to see if reboot works from here. Yes, reboot command works. That means BusyBox is having reboot command built in, or it has provided some extra tool. As I understand, the Alpine base Docker base image is like around 5 or 6 MB, so it is pretty much efficient. No, it is not pretty much efficient. It is the most efficient Linux distro. After that, it comes DSL. That means the damn small Linux, and Puppy Linux, Slacks Linux. Those are the example of efficient Linux. But I like Slacks Linux the most because it is so much stable. and it is having so much. Okay, that is the topic for another day. I think we have successfully installed Alpine Linux on my virtual system. So let's try to log in. Now it's time to SSH. It's time to SSH to the Alpine instance. SSH car at the rate 192.168.1.124. I remember. Yes, clear works, reboot works, and power off also works. So those are the basic command I try to find if those works or not. And a stop I think will not be there. Yes, it is not here, but top is here. Yes, it should be, because top is so minimal. So if I want to have htop to be installed on this system, the command would be apk add htop. I need a administrative access like sudo. I don't think sudo will work over here. Sudo is not there, so I will not be able to command anything as root. Do as is here, but I'm not going to do as. It's better to go with the root access. So switch user. Yes, now I am root. Now it's time to add some softwares, so that it first thing to get is htop. Apk add htop. Within a moment it got installed. Let's try. See, so don't ask me why Alpine Linux. It's better to say as why not. See, I have dedicated 8 GB of RAM, and guess how much it is consuming? Around 100 MB. That's it. 110 MB, 109 MB. And I think some amount of memory is consuming just by SSHing. Like TTY is consuming some amount of memory. Even HTOP is also having like 1 or 2 MB of memory. By the way, I did not partitioned any swap memory. It has auto allocated 4 GB of swap memory, as you see over here. I don't like swaps if I have enough RAM. Okay, next what I need, my text editor, that is micro. See, micro is not here. Apk add micro. Okay, micro is on the public repository, so nano slash etc slash apk slash repositories. Yes, this one. Oh no, nano is not present. Vi. Yes, Vi is present, but still, how to quit is a great mystery to me. So let's quit Vi and let's proceed. So Vim, those are like another way of life. Let's get nano first. Apk add nano. Nano is installed. It was like a moment. It is 158 MB. It should not. Nano maximum 1 or 2 MB. Now it's consuming 158 MB and 62 packages. I see. Nano must be having some kind of dependency to other packages. That may be the reason why it is consuming 158 MB. Okay, now let's try to edit the repository file. This is like etc repository file for the Alpine Linux. Let's uncomment the community distribution source and apk update and apk upgrade. Let's update and upgrade. It happens like magic within a moment. Update and upgrades are done. Okay, good news. What now? I'd be needing go. Go is not here. I'd be needing npm. Npm is also not present. Let me know what are the other software to install on this piece of fresh Alpine Linux. apk add docker, run c, containerd, ca certificates. So all the dependencies are getting installed, and it is fetching the latest distribution of docker. See the package called docker cli buildx. That means docker build or similar command will run natively on the updated system. Let's now see. There's so much installation. I expected the RAM usage must be gone higher. Still RAM usage is less than 100 MB. I don't know how like 20 MB got reduced. Next, it's better to have Node.js apk add. I'm not sure Node.js called node or Node.js over here. Let's try to add by typing node only. No search package Node.js. I think yes. So it is installing libgcc. Why? It is already having muscle libc, right? Not sure. Node dash v node version 22. That means it got the latest node version. Did it get npm? No, it did not get npm. So it's better to have npm also installed. How do I do that? I think apk add npm. See, I like the speed, I like the performance, I like the efficiency. So each and everything is taken care of if I use like Alpine Linux. So I will continue to install this one. So I will continue to use this Alpine Linux as my daily driver. And like, is there any way I can install the web version of VS Code editor? That means the code server. To get the code server installed on the Arch Linux, I think I'll have to go to this URL and follow. I see it is having a Debian package. So Debian and RPM. Let's park this piece of software to be installed later on. Before that, let's install some other basic tools, especially the fish. Apk add fish. Fish is installed and fish is now. See, fish has installed, but I'm not sure why it is not behaving correctly. Can I go to bash? Bash is also not there. Let's exit and clear the screen, and let's get bash first, because each and every shell script written by me or someone else, it expects to be run on bash. So it's better to have bash installed. Bash is installed. Yes, bash is installed. Fish, but I think fish is having some issue. I'm not sure it is with my host machine on the Alpine machine. Still, it is not working as expected. So it's better to have clear. And let's try ZSH. ZSH is installed, but I like fish the most. What do I do? I can have fish like experience on ZSH if I install like oh my ZSH or similar thing. By the way, npm is installed. I think I can install code server by using npm. Let's try it. Npm I code server dash g. So it will install the code server globally. So any user will be able to use the code server. Post install failed. So if I cannot install code server and fish shell, it will not feel at home for me. I will not be able to access this piece of server remotely, and I will not feel at home if I don't get fish shell. So today's experience was great, but end of the day, this piece of installation will not continue as my daily driver. I will try using the old OG Debian or maybe Arch. Arch is my best choice, but I'm not experienced, so I get fumble with Arch Linux. So let's decide tomorrow what to continue with. Still, there is a small scope. If I successfully install code server on this system, I'm not sure. Code server is not working. Exit. I'm on the bash right now. Let's like npm I code server dash g. Let's try again using bash. No, same Python. Do I have to have Python? Let's add Python. Python 3. Python is Python 3. apk search Python. See, there are a lot of Python packages are available, but I remember one package, Python is Python 3, that completes the gap between Python and Python 3. That means if your system is having Python 3, even if you type Python, it will work. That kind of. Okay, although Python 3 is added, let's try to get the code server again. No, still it will not work as Python package is not here. So installing other packages is little hard. Let's try to add Golang. It is installing GCC. That means it will install the GCC version of Go. Muscle dev Go. Yes, this Go package is having pretty much updated package version 1.24. Pretty much updated. Yes, Go version works. Let's try one package called HTTP server. if it gets installed, then all other npm dependency software will be installed. Yes, it has installed and it is working. So that's it for today. I think today's attempt to install Alpine Linux was successful. Though using it as a daily driver, I don't think I'm capable to do this right now. So what is the second choice? The second choice was my first choice from the beginning, like the Debian. Before that, I have used Caldera and other distributions like Nopix, Caldera, and Mandriva, especially Mandriva Linux. Those were my initial experience with Linux, though I fell in love with the Debian, especially the package manager and all the configurations. I remember configurations, they also had the host file, config file. This, even if you go back to the 1970s, you would find similar folder structure and file structure. Even the next step also had like similar host file and networking configuration. So all those are very similar and familiar as those all operating system called as Unix or Unix like operating systems. Even by the way, this Linux is not having GNU tool chain, so practically you can call it only Linux operating system with like BusyBox. This is the only example where GNU/Linux is not applicable, and I think many people takes this as an example, like Linux does not mean GNU. Still, you need GNU toolchain to build Linux till the date. Okay, that sums up the end